There's been a whole bunch of talk regarding Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao and the type of people they are outside the ring. But we feel at TYT Sports that it's just about time to start focusing on what each of these guys need to do to win the fight. In a recent interview from Outside the Lines, we saw Floyd Mayweather do a textbook dodging of questions that obviously he didn't want to answer. Let's take a quick look on that, and then let's get into a much more serious discussion about what we're expecting to see.
And no governing body has ever suspended you or sanctioned you. What message do you think that sends victims of domestic violence?
I'd say I want everybody to tune in May 2nd. Mayweather versus Pacquiao. This is a fight that you can't miss.
But there are a lot of people who wonder why you should be allowed to continue to box in the highest profile events when you've got the track record that you have, when in other sports there have been serious repercussions for some of these athletes.
Well, everybody's, when it's all said and done, only God can judge you. But I don't want people to miss this fight. This is an unbelievable matchup. Mayweather Pacquiao, May 2nd. Be there.
I totally understand the responsibility of the media to challenge your subject and obviously bring out whatever information that you can, but he dodged the questions. As you mentioned before, he's a master of self-promotion.
Yeah.
Is this not a clear-cut sign that you should be spending these times talking to fighters about what they've been doing to prepare?
Yeah, and that's what for me is more intriguing. Don't get me wrong. We stand here at TYT Sports for not judging and trying to see everything in the full perspective of it. And when it comes down to this fight, I only want to talk about what's going on now in the preparations. I'm fascinated to watch Mayweather chop up wood and Pacquiao running through the streets, and now Mayweather's in some massive freezing furnace or something like that. I just seen it. It's fascinating to me what they're doing.
I believe it's Superman's ice castle.
Yeah, I don't know. It's what it reminded me of a little bit. So that's interesting to me. This is just an example of someone in the media trying to get a rise out of Floyd Mayweather. Whether you or not you agree or disagree with his question, and whether or not you disagree with the fact that Mayweather should be removed from the sport of boxing based on his past convictions, it's in the past. What's the point? It's not going to change now. Something should have been done then in the Boxing Association.
Right.
So they're the ones that the question should be directed at. When you've got Floyd Mayweather in front of you with a camera, you should be saying, Floyd, what can you do to beat Pacquiao? What are you going to be doing? How are you going to counteract his power and speed? That's fascinating questions for me.
Right, and that's also a fantastic way to start building up the fact that boxing needs more of that type of coverage.
Yeah.
Because if we keep focusing on Mayweather and his history, and you have people like Stephen A. coming out and defending his history, and you keep focusing on what Pacquiao is doing in the streets of LA opposed to what Freddie Roach is showing him inside the ring, we want to build a boxing following. We're big boxing enthusiasts here, and we want the sport to continue to grow. Joaquin, we know you're also a big boxing enthusiast.
Yes, indeed.
What is it about, the idea that I don't want to say all the coverage, because it's not. I know Bleacher Report, kudos to you guys, because you guys released today tips or what each fighter needs to do to win, and they were one of the first that I've seen do a full coverage of it. There's many others out there. When it comes to at least the media and how they're portraying everything about this fight, it doesn't seem like it's about the fight.
Well, look, I mean, in the era that we have this perverse media coverage, we started a few years ago with HBO doing the 24/7 series, right? So it turns into a reality circus, right?
Well, that's
24/7 coverage. Now we want to see every aspect of these fighters' lives and what they're doing. I mean, look, that's what people want. That's the perverse American, indulgence, is that you can watch every little second of what they're doing. Look, I'd much rather be talking about the fight. That's more important to me. I don't question the ethics of the journalists in terms of them, asking these hard-hitting questions. I think they should be asked. But yeah, right now in fight week, look, if there was an issue that had happened really recently, then I think it should take precedence. But right now, where we're at, let's see the fight. Let's talk about what's going to happen and see what's going to happen on May 2nd.
I agree with that, but also, those questions shouldn't be they should be directed at Mayweather when it was in the time of the context. And I'm not defending Floyd Mayweather. I know what his characteristics are like outside of the ring, but those questions should be directed to the Boxing Association, because he's not in charge of whether he gets suspended or not.
Unfortunately, it's one of the major issues that boxing has had for 100 years is the fact that they have no association.
One of the most prominent examples of it, who consistently would break rules outside of it, but still in a boxing standpoint wouldn't be held as accountable as what he should have had. But this is what we are doing as well, is because we need to always state that don't get me wrong, we don't agree with what they're doing, but when it comes down to a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the fight, the biggest fight that any of us is probably ever going to see for I don't know for how many years to come. So I want to focus on, as a boxing fan, what is going to go on between these two inside the ring. Because the more that you pose the questions about Mayweather's morality, more people start questioning whether or not Pacquiao is actually the big morale, is the morale figure. We had clips before when we were talking about it. Maybe he's done some dirt. Who cares? I want to know what's going on inside the ring right now. That's what I want to know. Who's going to win this fight?
Let the boxers box. What do you guys think? Do you think that the media should be talking more about this fight and how keys to victory, how each fighter is going to win, training, more inside looks? Or are you content with seeing Mayweather's car collection, which we even shed light on? Because look, it's a pretty awesome car collection. I don't know what to tell you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below and don't forget to subscribe.